Okay, we're just going to start this again. This is my new camera. I'm checking it out, trying to get it going. I'm going to do this video. It's kind of an overview of my basement, and I'm going to talk about my tattoos. People have been asking me about that. So let's go from here. It's going to be a little wobbly. I'm going to be showing different things in this basement. So just bear with me as I maneuver around. I'm going to move over here, start on this end. This is my Pearl Harbor area. You can see I've got some pretty neat memorabilia, etc., hanging on the walls. And a real coincidence, this is the very first Medal of Honor, John W. Finn. He was an aviation ordnance chief in Kaneohe Naval Air Station, Kaneohe Bay, the morning of the attack on Pearl Harbor. And today is his 116th birthday, if he were still alive. So happy birthday, John. And here's a poster of my motorcycle when it was first finished, and photos of John autographing the tank after it was finished. Back up here, I want to move through here. I'm not going to do a full-on thing on my museum today, but just showing you, this is kind of the World War II end of the little area, museum area I have in my basement. This is a lot of old, mainly Pearl Harbor collectible items that I've picked up over the years. A lot of people don't know, I worked with the Pearl Harbor survivors for 12 years. I volunteered and was an honorary member. Worked with them, escorting and taking photos of them throughout the whole San Diego southwestern region, out to Hawaii, probably I think 7 or 8 times with the survivors for different events. This area is for my dad, retired Commander Paul M. Harbaugh, passed away in 1988, rest his soul. Let's see if I can get it without the glare. Dad, back in the day, he was a landing signal officer for the Pacific Fleet. The training officer. I was going to say petty officer, but just got some old, some of his old patches, plaques, photographs, some pretty cool stuff. Here's some more Dad. Here's an old photo of him waving in a TBM aircraft. And you can see the LSO students watching him wave that bird in. More shots, LSO work. There's a shot of him on Tinian. This is him here on the far right. He was a A4 Skyhawk test pilot. Some other squadron patches, etc. I gotta show you this last photo over here. It's really cool. This is was taken in 1947 off the coast of Alameda, California, with looks like 8 F-8F Bearcats from VF-20 Alpha was the name of the squadron. And my dad is flying slot 2. You can see him actually in the picture if you zoom in, but I can't with this camera for now. Then I got some stuff over here from mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually play something real quick. Get the camera set up here. Okay, here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be in and out talking about various things. For let me play this first. It might be a little easier. This is a Word document that I put together just to get some of the flow of this particular video going.
Someone online was asking me about...
All right. Technical difficulties.
So I decided to do a quick overview of the various images showing what each piece symbolizes. Someone online was asking me about my ink, so I decided to do a quick overview of the various images showing what each piece symbolizes. But why get ink? Like most people, when one decides to place something permanently on their skin, they want it to be something meaningful. Something that reflects a period of time or moment in your life, or maybe just a tribute to someone else. A whole host of reasons can come into play. In my case, I decided to place images of my Navy service on me. I have 6.5 years of active duty sea service from 1987 to 1993, along with 3.5 years of reserve duty. And some might say, so? You were only in during the late 80s, early 90s. That's nothing compared to post 9/11 stuff. True to an extent. So maybe this is indeed a teachable moment, as they say. During my 3.5 years of sea duty, I have a total of 14 months of shipboard time flying on and off the aircraft carrier USS Ranger, while the remainder was flying out of NAS North Island on various land and sea attack or support flight operations. I logged a total of 275 missions flown over those 3.5 years, including 42 consecutive night combat missions in Operation Desert Storm. Some people wear a bracelet with a loved one's name on it, or maybe a locket around their neck with a picture of their sweetie. But in my case, and being so forgetful, I did it strictly as a visible physical reminder of the deeply embedded images that are permanently etched into my brain, and I'm sure many combat veterans have similar looping memories. Maybe it's intense operational tempo, maybe recollections of times they witnessed awesome unit cohesion or individual performance milestones, or maybe instances of mind-numbing fear. Sacrifice, loss, or just a glimpse into a moment in time where they found themselves in the crosshairs of death. I'm now going to describe each of the images. Some are self-explanatory. Others need a bit of context. Big bold Viking aircrew on forearms. Many see the Viking thing and think it's some sort of homage to my family lineage. It's actually because I spent over 2 years training to become qualified to fly in the backseat of the Navy's S-3 Viking aircraft, as a naval air crewman, ergo, Viking aircrew. It's just a coincidence that I'm also a Viking lineage, as well as my high school was known at the La Jolla High Vikings.
All right.
12 swallows from...
All right, so that's where we're going to go from here. I'm going to have to go do it a different way. I'm going to have to actually narrate this one myself. I thought I could use that word processor read text aloud function. Let's just do it this way. I think I can see what I'm doing here. Alright, so you saw the Viking aircrew, again, S-3 Viking. If you can see this, let me just, I'm going to be bouncing around with this one. You can see how amateur hour this is. Alright, so that's the airplane I flew in from 1988 through 1992. Viking sensor operator. I think I was actually in the back seat of that one. That was out at El Centro doing some missile runs, Zuni missiles. And what we're going to do is talk about, let me see if I can do it this way here. I apologize for how shaky this thing is. Let's jump over to the photos here. Some of the first ink I got was those big block letters on my arm, but then I went and I was reading, here we go, let's back that up. Many of you that have had ink know about the history of the Navy, all navies having tattoos in their culture, from all their travels overseas, etc. And in this particular case, there's a what is this? This is a drawing explaining all the different tattoos. Got my little pointer here. These swallows here, they talk about they're tattooed. You get one for every 5,000 miles of sea miles that you travel or sail in your career. So that's the swallows. They have a star. It's a nautical star. Of course, the hula girl. If you served in Hawaii, palm trees, etc. There's a whole series of Navy lore associated with these symbols of their service. For example, the turtle on the wrist, or excuse me, on the back of the hand. That's a turtle there. We'll talk about that later. Of course, the big ship, I don't have one of those, but there's King Neptune, chicken and a pig on the feet. That's a cool one too. But from there, let's go to, again, I apologize for the shakiness of the video, but this is on the fly editing. And I don't have a crew. I do this by myself, and as you can see, I am amateur. Okay, so let's work on from there. So when I decided to get swallows put on my arms, I had to calculate how many miles I sailed at sea. And over the 3.5 years I was in the Navy, or excuse me, attached to the Ranger, USS Ranger with our air wing, I calculated we did over 60,000 sea miles. That's over a course of 14 months of 2 6-month deployments over to the Persian Gulf and another 2 months of workups, training ops off the coast of California, etc. Total 60,000, so that divided by 5,000 is 12 swallows. So I have 12 swallows tattooed on my arms, and as you can see, this guy here is really cool. I really like this one. It's actually from a picture, a real picture of 2 swallows feeding, transferring food in flight. And because we did that in our squadron, part of our job was flying tanking missions. Let me just show you. Here's the Viking with a Hornet behind it, giving it fuel. It's kind of a pixelated picture. There's another shot, Viking getting gas. We did that a lot. We did a lot of that along with the other missions we flew. So that's so I covered the forearms. The swallows. Yeah, the forearm, front of the forearms. Then we'll move on to SEER School patch. Okay, hard earned, hard won. SEER School patch. Let's see. Here's a good shot of it right after it was finished. And here's you can see the other swallow, one of the other swallows. I like some of these because it looks like they're coming in for a landing. What's next here? I want to try to stay with the flow of this article. Did the tanking. There's the swallows. Actually used real images of swallows for my tats. Had them transferred onto my arms. Okay, next is if you can see it. Sorry, lighting's bad. AW rating symbol. See that? That thing right there? Where's the lights? How's that? Easier to see? Okay. These things are turning colors. From there, we're going to go up the left side of the arm. Here's a better shot. Okay. So if you can see that, guys. All right. Same here. Same on the arm. Air metal. That is the famous eagle with its lightning bolts in its talons. The letters Tactical Air Launch Decoy, TALD, with a gold number 1, a bronze star, and a bronze number 1. I can read about those later. The Combat V, for that mission, the TALD mission, and associated this is a tribute to 2 Navy officers. They were A6 intruder pilot and bombardier. The pilot was Lieutenant Tom T.C. Costin. The bombardier was Lieutenant Charlie Tuna Turner. And they were killed on 18 January 1991. We were doing a coordinated a coordinated mining strike on the port facility of Qasr, Iraq. And long story, we were in there to take out their surface air and AAA sites, along with mining the river entrance of the Tigris-Euphrates River Delta area. I forget which exactly the river was, but those 2 pilots, air crew from VA 155, call sign Jackal 404, were killed in action that night. That's a tribute. Now, a lot of people might wonder why I put these big ass V's on my arm. You're not going to believe this, but when I got after I got out of the Navy, I had some issues, PTSD, etc. Was at the VA hospital for a month in their PTSD rehab unit, and they started my claim for compensation from the VA. They said, Harbaugh, we think you've got combat PTSD. We want you to be in this program. You need to start going to counseling, etc., which I did for many, many years. And during that process, they kept saying, you are rated at 100%, but we think you should be rated at 100%, so you need to file the paperwork for this. Now, I am showing this because this is an in-your-face to the VA, because when I was there, I got denied. The first couple times I got denied my claim just to be rated at all. A lady at the VA came up to me and said, we don't give PTSD ratings to anyone unless you were awarded a Combat V for valor under heavy enemy fire. I'm like, okay, well, why don't you go read my record? And apparently she did not. And I don't know if the VA ever looked at my record in over 25 years being in that system. So I went ahead and that's what I'm doing. I'm putting my whole Navy service record on my body in case the VA loses it. So this is basically a fuck you to the VA. So anybody else got a problem with that, you can go talk to the VA. So onward. What's next on the agenda here? Air crewman, of course. I don't know if you can see that. I got air crew wings right here. USS Ranger. Okay. I'm gonna have to do that. I don't have a picture of this one. Let's check it out real quick. USS Ranger, CV-61 with a Minuteman. Below it is Carrier Air Wing 2. We were attached to the USS Ranger. That included, let me show you real quick. Donde. Let's see here. Alright, where'd it go? Oh, here we go. Alright. USS Ranger. Leaving port. I think it was actually, I think this picture's our Desert Storm cruise. They got 18 A6 intruders, so 18 of those. We had 7 or 8, I can't remember total number of Vikings on deck. We got some prowlers, EA-6B prowlers stacked up behind them, E-2 Hawkeyes, like 4 of them, and then like I think 12 or 16 Tomcats on the stern there. CV-61. Okay, so you saw that. Okay, now we're going to the other arm. Let me do this real quick. So, yeah, here we go. So this one's got, okay, there's 2 different ones. The Air Medal V for Valor is a bronze V. The Navy Commendation Valor V is gold. So I had them try to do gold color versus bronze. Underneath I've got TNC 45. What the hell's that? What's a TNC 45? Well, it's one of these things. I'll try to zoom in on it with the... So TNC 45, 150 foot Soviet built, or Soviet first ones were Soviet built, but this was a Kuwaiti owned 150 foot guided missile patrol boat. Had a 5-inch up front, a twin 40 millimeter Bofors cannon on the back, and twin opposing Exocet anti-ship cruise missile launchers stacked on the deck. This thing was stolen by the Iraqis the last night of the war. We didn't know the war was going to end that night, but on 27 February 1991, we got tasking to go find this thing because a bunch of Iraqis had stolen it and were up in the northern Persian Gulf causing havoc. So we launched, I think it was around 2 a.m., to go hunt this dude down. Long story, we found him underneath an oil rig. He was underneath one of those gigantic, like city block long oil rigs, hanging out under there. And we had been doing surface search. It was a racetrack pattern up and down the coast there, along the coast, and then there was a whole series of oil rigs on our starboard side. Long story, I caught his ass coming out of underneath there before he could shoot us down. God, thank God. But he opened up on us. The beach opens up on us. And as we're banking out of there, I was able to keep contact on the bird, or excuse me, on the boat, and that coordinating information went to the A6 intruder up above, who rolled in and dropped rock eye on him. Now, I don't know exactly how many of the original Kuwaiti crew were in there. Were they held at gunpoint, or because I can't believe a bunch of Iraqis that don't have one of those kind of boats got out there and were able to use it, being able to fire up all the systems. So I don't know how, it could have been 50 people on that thing. I don't know. So that's for my left arm. Of course, I don't have pictures of it. So hopefully this will show. U.S. Navy, pretty self-explanatory. And there's my Navy call sign, Hardball. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I got some hibiscus flowers, kind of a Pearl Harbor, Hawaii tribute thing going on with some rope coming down, turns into some chain, and then more of the, what do you call it, swallows. So, yeah, okay, I think I covered everything on my arms. Let's see here. Now, just to, let me throw this one at you, so we're going to go over here and just to kind of ram it home here. There's the air medal. There's the famous eagle with the lightning bolts in its talon. Bronze V, gold 1V, or excuse me, gold 1 with a bronze star and a bronze 1. Here's the actual certificate. Oh, and I wanted to also show you my shellback cards. And Golden Domain, or Domain of the Golden Dragon. What else we got here? Yeah, because that's let's see if I can get my hand up here. There's a turtle. I've got the date 15 April 1989, and the lat long. I'll show you. That's kind of cool. It's Hope you guys can keep with this. Oh well, we'll work on that one later. But okay, so that's what I was trying to emulate. This is a hawkbill sea turtle. Beautiful species, really cool too. They like fly through the water. All right, so now let's go to let's see here. Can you see it? USN. Let's see if I can do that. Where is it at here? Apologize. I've been wanting to do this for a couple days, and it's just frustrating that let's see here. There's Lieutenant Tom T.C. Costin and Charlie Tuna Turner. They were killed that night. Let's see here. Okay. Came out backwards, but it says tail hook. It's not tatted that way. That's just the way it is. And of course the actual S3 Viking tail hook on there. U.S. Navy S3 Viking tailhook Senso Lockheed Star. That's a famous patch that only qualified sensor operators are allowed to wear. And that's it right there. That's brand new. Kind of still getting worked in. What else we got here? Okay, we're going to move on to... Oh, on my left calf, I can hardly see it, but I got a Combat Vets Association, Motorcycle Association patch on my left calf. On my right shin, let's see if I can zoom out on this. This is a famous Fairbairn Sykes World War II style commando dagger. And where's the picture of that? I got it here somewhere. Here it is. Sorry, guys. Okay, so that's the commando dagger with a set of gold aircrew wings and, of course, the POW MIA logo there. USN. Let's see what else we got here. And let's go do this one first. Okay, on my right outside calf, this is obviously a shark. It's like a jumping shark. And coming out of its mouth is trying to eat a bunch of daisies. Why would a shark be eating daisies? Okay? My AWs might know the story about this, but... Here we go. Here's some headlines from this event. In 1988, I was part of this rescue swimmer school series of students that went through a program in Pensacola called Rescue Swimmer School. And back then, instead of proper training for the students, a cadre of basically Wild West instructors decided to start their own hazing procedures on the students. This is all documented in months of court testimony, and I have thousands of articles from around the country after this event where one of the AW students that was being forced, literally forced by the threat of being sent to the fleet without a job, into rescue swimmer school regardless of your swimming skills. Airman Lee Marecki was drowned. They actually, some say, killed him in the swimming pool. While they were trying to resuscitate this young man, the instructors ordered the other students, I think there were 25 students, to stand on the side of the pool, face the wall, and sing the national anthem. These 5 instructors were all found guilty of conspiracy to commit battery. One of them was charged with negligent homicide. One of the instructors, I heard later on, committed suicide. One guy went to prison or the brig for like 6 months, which was bullshit. And I don't even, if you want to know all the details on this, I have YouTube videos I've already created a couple years ago, and I can upload those. They go into this in great detail with all the documentation. So that's the story on the sharks and daisies. Long story, but that was a hazing ritual that the Navy wound up eliminating because they killed this guy, Airman AWAN Lee Marecki. And on the back of my right calf, I have the Rescue Swimmer logo, their famous logo with the fins and the anchor and the seagull, and So Others May Live. And it says, killed in training 2 March 1988. So that's an homage to Lee. He never got out of he never even got to A school. So I think that's pretty much it. I've got all my, let's see if I missed anything. Sears School, Sharks. So, right on. Tail hook. Air crew tail hook. What else? Let's see here. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right, well, I wanted to show you guys. Check out this thing. Oh, freaking! All right, all sorts of fun, guys. So, hey, to those who were interested in my tats, hopefully that works out. You know, it gives you a little bit of explanation what it's all about. All right, let's call that a wrap.